All right, boys. Another day, another content from AniNews. So, today we got Garfield versus the War God Kurgan. Oh, that name. The War God. Yo, that look, I think that's tougher. I mean, 8-arm Kurgan is pretty good, but the War God. Okay, how the fight really went. Let's go.
As amazing as it was to watch such an incredible scene wrap up the Garfield vs. Kurgan fight, this was probably the battle that got the least amount of attention.
Oh.
Reason being that there was so much more to it than just Garfield overcoming a seemingly insurmountable obstacle. The entire season we've been seeing Garfield's weaknesses exposed one by one, and it was only here that Garfield was finally able to accept them. So this fight was actually more so about Garfield overcoming himself. Where before he was incapable of carrying all the people he wanted to support, by the end he realized he just needed to become stronger.
Yep, overcoming himself, right? We saw the main trauma, the Elsa stuff, right? The first kill, the Elsa trauma. He was able to get over that, man. Seems like he has to resolve to now just kill, right? The hesitation aspect, I think that is just like gone. But the main thing also, yeah, also maybe, you know what? Get Garfield a training arc, man. I would love to see Garfield get a training arc, bro. Like, get this man a training arc. I think Garfield has a lot of potential, bro. He does have a lot of potential. Hey, Reinhardt said it.
The world was much larger than he initially thought, and his fight with Kurgan was a pivotal moment allowing him to realize that.
Yes.
So, if you want to see what really went down between Gorgeous Tiger and the War God, this is everything the anime left out from it. It's an extremely impactful fight that develops Garfield's character tremendously. There was also way more tactics involved, making the fight a whole lot more intense. Let's get started. To start things here outside the control tower, in addition to Wilhelm sharing the personal information about his wife, he would also reveal how these two corpse warriors were likely nowhere as close to how strong as they used to be. Such a revelation came as quite the shock for Garfield, since after fighting both in that one-sided beatdown earlier, he couldn't imagine what would have happened if they were stronger.
True. So they're okay. I mean, there's Will pretty much confirming it. I mean, I already had an idea of it, right? But like, Will out here just pretty much saying like the corpse soldiers are not as strong as their prime or like their actual versions of themselves, which makes sense, right? But like, that's a scary thing. How the fuck are they still so strong though? You know what I mean? Like, we still struggling. You imagine if they were full potential, man. Like, actual, like, the bodies were like actually like their full strength, like how they were, bro. GG's, I'm not gonna lie.
It was news that placed doubt into his own capabilities too, since as heroes from the legends he always looked up to, Garfield truly wondered if he could beat them. His true goal was obviously Capella and the tower, but standing in his way now was an obstacle that needed to be cleared first.
Yep.
Now, while Wilhelm would engage with a direct charge that spoke true to who he was, Garfield would jump from building to building, choosing to engage from an angle a bit more unconventional. Reason being that he knew attacking head-on would never work. That's just how legendary his opponent was. His attack was still blocked just as easily, but Garfield would continue his assault, raining blows from every possible angle he could.
Different strats.
They were moves which actually seemed to be making an impact, since of the ones that connected, they were doing damage. Maybe not anything particularly substantial, but certainly enough to leave a mark and make him bleed.
More like a unpredictable way of fighting different angles to try and throw him off. Okay, I see.
So, this would be the moment where Garfield knew he should focus only on the fight, but as Ram had pointed out to him once before, too often would he let his mind wander away from it. Part of the reason why Garfield couldn't end the fight sooner was because he constantly changed focus to some other issue on his mind. Whether it be his siblings, his mom, the Archbishop, or Subaru, distraction after distraction would prevent him from truly focusing on the opponent in front of him.
Yeah, and that's one of his main weaknesses, and one of the things that he just needs to get over, right? That he needed to get over. The psychological impact that, like, bro, I mean, like, come on, man. He's gone through so much, bro. Like, this season alone, bro. Traumatizing, man. Very traumatizing. Especially for a kid like him, man. He's just a kid, bro. Very traumatizing stuff, man. A lot of stuff back to back to back, like the family stuff. Then you got the Mimi stuff, like the Elsa stuff happened before that, right? You know, even though it's like technically like a year before, but like still, it's still, even if it was a year before, it was still on his mind and it was still fucking him up for so long. Like it's like it was mainly the it was like that wall, right? Like he has like that wall of just like every time he fights, he just thinks of a different like event that really fucked him up, like really affected him, and that just like makes him hesitate or like not focus.
They were the root cause of every advantage Kurgan gained here.
Exactly.
One such advantage was a brutal pummeling, leaving Garfield in fear, since Kurgan's relentless onslaught combined with his tower-like stature reminded Garfield why he'd earned the title of God of War in the first place.
God of War.
Garfield knew this wasn't the time to act all scared, but no matter how hard he tried to hype himself up, deep down he knew the courage he was building was nothing but fake. Even so, it was with this fake courage that Garfield would unleash an attack containing all the strength he could muster. By focusing the power of the earth into one single point, Garfield would launch himself with enough force to level an entire building, only to be stopped dead in his tracks by Kurgan's two cleavers.
Yikes.
This went to show just how outmatched Garfield was, since the attack wasn't nullified, parried, or deflected. It was simply endured in a way that showed Garfield he wasn't strong enough.
Fuck,
in this contest of what was essentially raw power, Garfield had failed to keep up with the legendary warrior he was fighting against. Where he landed after would leave him in the position to get squashed by Capella's decoy, swallowing him whole in what was essentially an absurdly large mass of blood. It was an amorphous blob of it Garfield couldn't tell whether it was alive or not. Such a notion was something he would have considered crazy before, but now that the city was crawling with lifeless corpse soldiers and demi-beasts, the idea that there was also a slithering mass of blood didn't seem all that impossible anymore.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ekena mentioned that in the light novel this was described as flesh and just blood, right? I'm pretty sure like flesh and blood. Pretty sure, so like that's what that is.
So, it was this slime that left Garfield in a more precarious situation than what we saw in the anime, since with all 5 of his senses being overwhelmed by it, he was quickly running out of air with no way to escape.
Yo, I like the visual thing here. Yo, Super Mario Galaxy. Yo, I like the reference there, bro. Yo, AniNews, man. Yo, I like that.
5 of his senses being overwhelmed by it, he was quickly running out of air with no way to escape. He had tried to fall back on the 6th sense that Subaru had taught him, but once again his idle thoughts prevented him from doing anything. Even as he gasped for air and filled his lungs with blood, his idle thoughts would continue to prevail regardless. They seemed like they were gonna continue all the way to the bitter end here.
Jesus.
Luckily, his self-preservation instinct did kick in, so that was what enabled him to escape the pathetic death awaiting him. It was the moment his transformed claws breached the surface of this monstrosity that Garfield instinctively knew he had killed it. Whatever life Capella imbued into it was now gone.
Whatever life she imbued into it. Imagine the blob is many people mixed together. You imagine? Like, what the fuck even is that shit, bro? It just, if it's described as just flesh and blood, like, it could just be other fucking people.
Kurgan wouldn't give him a single breath to recover though, since the moment Garfield cleared himself of the blood's deadly embrace, a barrage of fists sent him flying far away from where the fight initially began. It was a relentless attack that shattered his bones and ruptured his organs. Compared to the agony of drowning in blood though, this was nothing more than a pinch to him. It was then that a group of demi-beasts would surround Garfield like how we saw in the anime, but where here we saw him hesitate to kill them, in the novel Garfield wasted no time destroying them. He knew on an instinctual level they needed to be taken care of. Kurgan's intervention would result in the slaughter of these demi-beasts as well, but not for the reason that you might think. You see, his desire for a 1v1 was simply a reflex from the warrior code ingrained into him.
Okay, I could say that, yeah. I mean, it's literally just about, like, he just wants to run them once, bro. He just literally wants to run them once, bro. The respect, right? Right? The warrior aspect, the fair fight aspect, right? That's just how he is, bro. So, like, even though he's a corpse soldier, he still has that, right?
Not for the reason that you might think. You see, His desire for a 1v1 was simply a reflex from the warrior code ingrained into him.
The warrior
Though
code.
his mind was gone, Kurgan's body wanted to preserve this match between War God and War Tiger.
Exactly. Even if his mind was gone, his body still wanted that. That's jeez.
It was a desire that led him to take on both Garfiel and the demi-beasts together. With one hand, he would continue punching Garfiel, while with the other 7, he would take care of the demi-beasts jumping at him now. Both were handled with the same finesse and confidence we've come to expect from Kurgan. So, more bones would shatter and flesh be opened, but Garfiel's recovery magic would enable him to fix himself up. The only thing Garfiel really needed to focus on then was creating openings so he could do it. It's kind of like when waiting for the right time to heal during a boss fight in a Souls game.
Yeah, like the fucking fighting pattern, right? They stop fighting, like they stop throwing an attack, so you gotta like find out like an opening to heal, and then you fucking dodge perfectly.
Very few instances were given for Garfiel to do so, but with some clever tactics and a little ingenuity, he was able to catch Kurgan off guard by transforming back into his human form. With his tiger form getting absolutely pummeled, Garfiel was able to switch back, then catch Kurgan in a grapple. He would then toss Kurgan straight through the wall of the control tower, bringing the fight to a more intimate location.
Whoa.
It's here punches would be met with punches and kicks met with kicks, all resulting in this intense back and forth of offense and defense. Now, with this being the location Garfiel had set out to go in the first place, a simple observation of the inside would reveal it was all just bait. Capella had left everything behind as a decoy and was now nowhere to be found by anyone.
Yep.
This was an incredibly bad turn of events for the home team, since Capella's absence meant that she could turn up anywhere. That being the case, Garfiel knew he needed to inform those back at base immediately. It was right as he was about to reach out and grab the conversation mirror, though, that Kurgan would re-engage and continue his beatdown. It's here the novel gives a pretty interesting breakdown of how an encounter like this goes, so if you were wondering how Garfiel dealt with each of his arms, this would be a standard case going through a full route with them.
Blocking one punch with his shield and dodging the next, Garfiel launched himself into the air to evade the third. He deflected the fourth to soften the impact, and matched the fifth with a full-strength punch. The sixth shattered his jaw, but he managed to avoid sustaining a lethal blow and tensed his abs. Bro, literally, he just started flexing his abs, like tensing them up, and just like took it to endure the seventh, which crashed into his midsection. It was the eighth that connected directly with his face, dazing him. I think I got way more respect for Garfiel. Yo, hearing it like reading it like this, bro. God damn, Garfiel. I respect it, bro. Bro was like, this is what I got, bro. Like, that was the plan, to deal with each arm, and he was able to, like, he did have to, like, bro, because it's like too many, right? Like see like how the sixth one like shattered his jaw, like, and then like the fourth one to soften the impact, like endured the seventh, and then the eighth one directly connected. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he was completely like, it's like, dude, it's like impossible, dude. Like 8 fucking arms, dude. 8 arms going at you. Like, not even 4, bro. Not even double, bro. Like 8. So like, you can't really dodge and expect to like really like be able to fully like deflect and like counter every single one. So hey, in the end it still worked out though. Hey, this plan fucking worked out, man. He cooked, bro. Yo, I respect it, bro.
So
Garfiel.
If you were wondering how Garfiel dealt with each of his arms, this would be a standard case going through a full route with them.
That's wild.
As I'm sure you could tell, there was only so much he could do when facing 8 consecutive attacks like this. Now, what hurt Garfiel even more than any of this was the blow to his pride that came when he saw Kurgan wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
Like, until now he still hadn't used any of his swords, so Garfiel knew he was just being toyed with. So, the fact Kurgan could have ended the fight yet didn't, shattered every part of him he once valued as a warrior. It was humiliating treatment that Garfiel would have taken death over.
It fucks you, bro. That just fucks you up, bro. That's just like such a mental game, man. Like it fucks you. Like you're fighting someone. You're giving it your all. You're literally putting all your fucking like everything. You're all of your all, bro. You're going in, and then the bro's just like he just puts his hands, bro. He literally is not even using everything. He's not even going full power, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's really demoralizing. That's really demoralizing.
It was then that Garfiel's idle thoughts would remind him why he was even doing all of this, revitalizing his will to fight in a way that even Kurgan took notice of. Though the outcome was still looking grim, the familiar voices in Garfiel's head encouraged him to keep pushing forward regardless.
The voice in the head?
It rebuilt his confidence in a way that clearly resonated with Kurgan, a change in demeanor that would lead him to finally draw his 2 devil cleavers.
Oh,
this
shit.
is where the fight really begins, but not before a bit of backstory about Kurgan himself. We already know his people were discriminated and Kurgan saved them, but what was left out was how exactly that happened. You see, with the many-armed tribe always being treated as inferior, they were never able to settle down into a homeland they could call their own. The one they had was lost in a battle a long time ago, so now they were constantly on the move searching for one.
Okay.
Eventually, they would settle down in a land the local lord didn't approve of, so in an attempt to clear his territory of the inferior race currently blemishing it, the lord would send his soldiers to evict them. It was Kurgan who had killed every last one of them, then, after bringing the fight all the way to the local lord's manor, Kurgan would concede and offer his services as the lord's new captain.
Oh.
It was from there he would earn his valor on countless battlefields, eventually building himself up to the legend he was today. So, it was this icon of martial supremacy that Garfiel was up against, bringing us to the showdown in the sewers we saw here. Their joint tumble in the water would lead to an even more fierce exchange underneath it, where, though submerged and completely unable to see, the two would somehow find each other and continue to fight. It was as if their instincts were leading them right to each other. For Garfiel, who still needed air though, this exchange was especially brutal. He couldn't breathe and his brain was losing oxygen, so where Kurgan could continue on like normal, Garfiel was struggling just to survive.
Oh man, damn, the way he's saying it, man, he was like really struggling. Like, we only saw like a little bit, bro. That's terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. Bro was like fighting and then also you just get fucking thrown into the fucking water, start drowning and shit. Oh hell no, that's scary.
Kurgan could continue on like normal. Garfiel was struggling just to survive. Once again, Kurgan could have done nothing and won the fight here, yet whether out of nobility or a simple sense to keep on fighting, he would break the wall of the waterway and allow Garfiel to keep on living. This is where the anime would divert yet again, since where here demi-beasts would arrive to help Garfiel overcome this inner conflict of his, instead there was only Kurgan. He would fall into the shelter shortly after Garfiel, then immediately continue his assault without the slightest bit of hesitation. There was no emotional reunion with Raph or Fred, just more fighting and even more struggling.
So what? That's the difference. It was like the little difference there. I think I do like what they did in the anime. I do like what they did in the anime. Actually, I actually do prefer what they did, bro. A little more moment with the siblings, right? A little more emotional moment, and it honestly also makes sense that like he like we just wanted a 1v1, right? Like we had like the emotional moment. But knowing Kurgan, right? Like he, even if like Garfield was like there for like a little while, like talking to his siblings and all that, he was probably just gonna wait a little bit. It was like I just want my fight, bro. Like he just wants the ones, bro. And you know, so like keeping that in mind, right? That he just wants to fight Garfield 1v1 fairly. Like I think the anime did a very good job there. I think it just did way better with the whole sibling thing. I think that was a little nice moment, man.
Fall into the shelter shortly after Garfiel, then immediately continue his assault without the slightest bit of hesitation. There was no emotional reunion with Raph or Fred, just more fighting and even more struggling. Like, the initial attacks Kurgan engaged with had caught Garfiel off guard, so he was completely susceptible to an 8-punch combo, leaving him broken.
Fuck.
The next 8 were blocked, evaded, dodged, parried, ducked, deflected, and matched in that order, reinforcing the fact he was at an overwhelming disadvantage. I mean, for every one of his attacks, Garfiel had to put up with 8. It was this disparity that actually went to encourage Garfiel, since now Kurgan was holding 3 of his cleavers. seeing his opponent finally start to take him seriously
Mhm.
resonated deeply considering all that happened prior. There was a certain satisfaction that came from knowing a legendary figure such as this saw him as a warrior too.
Yep.
After that encounter with Reinhardt, the incident with his mother and his incompetence with Mimi, the powerlessness he felt from then was slowly dissipating.
3 things that fucked him up this season like that, and then the Elsa thing was still fucking him up. 4 things, y'all. Like 4 fucking things that bro, like, and he's a kid, bro. He's just a kid, man. Like, god damn, bro. Bro was getting jumped mentally. I mean, physically too, right? But like, you know what I mean? Like mentally, like he was just in shambles, dude. Like, god damn, bro. Give him a break, man.
And his incompetence with Mimi, the powerlessness he felt from then was slowly dissipating. The past 2 days had exposed all his weaknesses at once, but here Kurgan was helping him find his strength again. He had reignited the spirit Garfiel had lost, and it was all from the simple act of drawing his weapons.
Kurgan pretty much reignited Garf's like resolve and his motivations, just because he pulled out the fucking swords. I mean, it's a very bit. It's just like, yeah, like how AniNews mentioned, like because it's such a legendary figure, right? Like, and he's actually taking you seriously now. Like, it's just like, it's not. It's kind of like a relief, right? Like, damn, okay, like I'm that guy. I made him pull out his swords, dude. Like,
so though Kurgan couldn't realize what exactly he had done for Garfiel, his impact on him was immeasurable.
Yeah.
Words couldn't begin to describe how much of an honor all this was for Garfiel. Now, that's one of the aspects I think is hard to tell in the anime, since this whole fight was all about developing Garfiel. Where initially he started out as this unwavering child Kurgan refused to acknowledge as a warrior, now he was an equal befitting proper attention.
Okay, yeah. Literally went from nothing to equal. That was great. Yeah, he was one who fucked him up before too. Yeah, like, dude, this is fucking crazy. W fucking Garfield development, dude. Like, we have gotten so much Garfield development this season, y'all. Like, and I've gained so much more respect and just so much more love for Garfield, man. Especially because we just seen like more of him, right? More screen time, more into how he feels, right? How he feels, like it's especially like the family stuff. I think the family stuff was really like, oh my god, dude, like damn, though, bro, the emotion, right? Back in like episode 3, like the emotion and just like the character that was shown of Garfield this season was so fucking good, man. Yeah, our shonen protagonist.
Before, Kurgan had just kept him at a distance, seemingly out of pity, but now both were brimming with the insatiable desire to fight each other.
From pity to
it was
just
a shared
fighting.
Feeling that led to an intense stare-down.
Yep.
A stare-down which indicated the fight was going to be resolved with one single decisive clash. First, the embers of resistance would be ignited by Garfiel's presence, though, leading the spectators to cheer him on just like how we saw in the anime.
Yeah.
If Subaru's speech was what lit the match, Garfiel's resolve here was the fuel keeping that fire going. The people's encouragement served as fuel to him as well, and that would have him entering the duel more confident than ever. Now, the part of this duel that makes it so interesting in the novel is that it was essentially Garfiel's one attack against Kurgan's 8. Their past exchanges showed us that that was always the case here, so if Garfield wanted to come out on top, he'd first need to overcome the combo of 8 he'd been dealing with before.
Like, this is crazy, dude. Like, so like he throws a punch. I like how you slowed it down here. He slowed it down here. Throws a punch. 8. Oh shit. Deals with the 8. Then he goes again. And then 8 more. And then he just keeps doing that over and over again. So he has to make sure that he somehow is able to take the least damage possible from 8 different arms, 8 different attacks. And once he gets an opening for his own attack, he has to make sure that attack does damage. Because it's only 1 to his 8. Like, that is fucking wild, bro.
Need to overcome the combo of 8 he'd been dealing with before.
It's horrible.
So, the first attack came as a horizontal slash to the torso, One he'd avoid by jumping, then stepping on the blade to stop it.
Mm.
The second was an arc from Kurgan's left side, a powerful attack which Garfiel would shield with both his arms. It was a blow far too powerful for him to handle though, since not only did the impact crumple his entire arm, it also broke both his shoulder and his wrist. 6 attacks were still to follow after this, so next Garfiel had to deal with a simultaneous sequence of barehanded attacks. They were 2 fists, one aimed at his torso and the other his neck. Both would have been fatal had they gone undefended, but Garfiel's abs would absorb most of the blow at the torso, while the punch aimed for his neck would get blocked by his already broken arm.
He would block the one going for the neck with his already broken arm, but his fucking abs? Yo, Garfield, what's your ab routine, man? What the fuck? What the fuck is your ab routine, bro? Let me know, man. Like what? What the fuck? God damn, bro. Solid ass abs, bro. What the fuck? What is your routine, man? Yo, what is your routine, bro? I mean, yeah, it's not even a 6-pack, bro. It's an 8-pack. God damn, bro. God damn, man. Like, I need his routine, bro. This is fucking crazy.
His abs would absorb most of the blow at the torso, while the punch aimed for his neck would get blocked by his already broken arm. In the end, the ligament was nothing more than a shattered mess barely recognizable from how it was supposed to be.
Oh, bro, what the fuck, man? I mean, he said, like, he blocked with his already broken arm, right? Like, his already fucked up arm. Oh, fuck, dude, that is disgusting, bro. It's like mush. Yeah, it's like what happened. It's like, you know, like the Regulus bush, bro. God damn, bro.
The rest of the impact was stopped with Garfiel's forehead, bringing him halfway to where he wanted to be.
Okay.
The 5th and 6th attack would come barehanded as well, making it clear the 3rd cleaver was being saved for the end. As for how Garfiel avoided this, well, his arm was too messed up to defend, so instead Garfiel relied on his magic. He would use the Blessing of Earth to create a small opening for himself, allowing him to just barely maneuver between the gap existing between the fists coming towards him.
W blessing, man.
It was an incredible display of decisiveness that went to shock even him. It was then that Kurgan would skip the 7th attack and go straight to the 8th, leading to a slash that could neither be evaded nor intercepted. This was the ultimate move Kurgan could muster, and the only choice Garfiel had now was pure defense. It was an instantaneous decision that detached himself from the world around him.
W fucking defense, and yes, it's the adrenaline, dude. Bro's entire arm is gone, bro. Mush. Like, bro is just going with bro, the adrenaline. Like, we saw how, bro, as soon as the fight's over, bro's like, bruh, and he just fucking, like, passes out, bro. He just, like, goes on the fucking ground. Like, dude, bro was, like, getting pieced up, man. Like, his entire arm gone, and he still kept fucking going, bro. Dude, Garfield's fucking resolve, man. It is, bro, he's fucking crazy, man.
The only choice Garfiel had now was pure defense. It was an instantaneous decision that detached himself from the world around him. Color faded and sound dissipated, leaving nothing in his periphery other than Kurgan and the slash coming towards him. For Garfiel, this was a state of perfect focus. The only thing left in his consciousness was the target in front of him.
Bro, we're flow state.
With everything now in slow motion, all Garfiel could do was wait. It was the perfect opportunity for his idle thoughts to return again, but now they were memories of all the people he cared for.
Now it's all the people he cared for, not trauma. Everything's in slow motion. Bro is literally in the zone, yeah. He's in the zone flow state. He's literally in flow state. Everything is just coming naturally to him, bro. Jeez. And he's thinking about all the good memories, right? All the people he loves now.
A lot of them were people he didn't know of before Sanctuary, so Garfiel couldn't help but wonder if they were what was making him weak. I mean, it was the events in Sanctuary that started exposing his weaknesses to him. His encounter with Reinhardt then showed him just how big the world was, so for a moment, Garfiel truly thought holding on to more was making him weaker. It was when he really thought about it, though, that Garfiel realized that was impossible. Like, if all those precious to him was in fact what was making him weaker, then what even was the point of living? It was then Garfiel finally understood he just needed to become stronger, and the moment he did, all his worries just vanished.
What a line. If it was because of the people, wow. If it was because of the people he cared about that he was acting like this, bruh. He was just like, nah, bro. I just gotta get stronger. That's it. He just has to get stronger, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like after all this, bro, we just gotta get a training arc, bro. Get this mad training arc, man. Low key. I'll be down. I'm down, bro.
If he wasn't strong enough to hold all the new things he now held dear, then all he needed to do was get stronger.
Yeah.
It was a simple solution to everything that was haunting him.
Simple
Finally,
solution.
Kurgan's slash would connect with the good arm Garfield had left, shattering it to the same state that the right was in.
Yikes.
The thing is, with the attack being unleashed from the same arm Garfield had injured earlier, it was the one spot most prone to being countered. This was a weakness Kurgan would have noticed had he been alive, since the pain from such an injury would have made him unleash the final attack from a better arm.
Ah, see? We gotta keep in mind, it's not actually, like, fully, you know, fully, like, him, Kurgan, right? So, that's interesting. So, that was actually Kurgan. Oh, boy. Jesus, but...
It's because he didn't, though, that Garfield blocking the attack head-on would rupture Kurgan's arm in the process. The deep gash Garfield left earlier was now the pivotal instrument in turning the tables here. Garfield didn't have any more claws to attack with, but what he did have was his fangs. So, after enduring all 8 arms and creating an opening for himself, Garfield would lunge face first and rip out half of Kurgan's neck.
Wow.
The whole exchange might have gone unnoticed had you watched the scene only once, but it was exactly what happened in the anime too. Mind you, the attack Garfield landed was much smaller in the anime. So, this would be the end for Kurgan, and with a single word of commendation, the hero would crumble mercilessly back into the ash from which he was formed.
Wow.
It was an unfulfilling end to the battle which brought fulfillment to Garfield. But yeah, that was the full extent of their fight together.
That was good.
I really liked how it served to develop Garfield, so I'd love to see what you all thought as well. Did you think the anime did justice to Garfield's character, or do you think they could have done more to convey his triumph over his weakness?
I mean, it's like, again, like, it's just one of those things where, like, you could say, like, they could have done more, but it's like, we gotta just keep in mind, like, the time, right? Like, the running time, the animation, like, there's a lot of things to keep in mind. Like, it's really easy to just say, like, man, they should have just done this and that, but in an ideal world, yes. In a fucking ideal, perfect world, yes, but obviously the world's not perfect, right? Everything doesn't go perfectly, and, you know, we have production issues, we have a lot of problems here and there, so it's like, we have limitations, like, it just happens, right? So, like, you know, it would have been nice to see, but, like, if we cover every single piece of cut content in the anime, we would need, like, 20-something episodes, hell, 30-something episodes, maybe? Like, if we really, like, want to, like, take our time and, like, really just get into every character, like, it would take so long, so much more money, so much more production time, like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, in an ideal world, yes, but I think the anime did a good job. Yeah, I think, even though, the anime handled it a different way, still conveyed the idea that Garfield overcame what was holding him back and found his strength. Exactly. It was still, the way they did it was still amazing. I think they showed it very well. I think that, like, the message that was supposed to be conveyed, it happened. It was conveyed, right? Like, he literally overcame what was holding him back and found his strength. Exactly, like you said there. Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. And even though there's, like, some details here and there about the fight and all that were skipped, and, you know, some, like, little details here and there, like some dialogue that maybe would have, like, given more depth and more, I guess, like, more of a feel to his character and just his character development in general, right? But I think with what they had, bro, I think they did an amazing job, bro. The anime did amazing, and the animation was really good. That fight was really good, bro.
Let me know down in the comments, and if you liked the video, then leave a like.
Okay.
I'll be back again with another.
That's it. All right, another W cut content, man. W fucking fight, bro. That was a really, really good fight, bro. Thank you so much, AniNews, for the cut content. Once again, that is going to be it for today's cut content. If y'all enjoyed it and you're new, subscribe. Leave a like down below. The full uncut version to all ReZero content will be on Patreon. As always, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. See you guys.